Okay, so hello.
Hey.
Can you first of all introduce yourself to our readers?
My name is Brian Chambers. I am the development director of Cloud Imperium Games in Frankfurt.
Okay, first question is not a question. When does the game, or when will the game be released? Or okay, when do you think will the alpha phase be over? Have you an idea or a guess, a hint?
I'd have to go back and look at the roadmap. We have a public roadmap that we put out for everybody. I think we started doing that roughly a year ago, maybe even longer. So it talks in detail what we're planning on each quarter release and so on. Yeah, we get asked a lot, oh, when will you be done, right? The reality is, I mean, this is a game that can go on and on and on for a long time.
That's it, yeah.
When you say, oh, when will you be done with, you know, an alpha phase, there will be a time, and we could refer back to the roadmap where we look and go, okay, there's enough systems in there, there's enough ships, the mechanics are mature, it's got the gameplay loops are solid, there's enough to do with various careers and so on and so on. And then you also have what backers have backed for, and there was a certain amount of things that we've told the backers would be in there. So there's various gauges we could use, right? I think the public one will be, okay, we said we're going to do A, B, and C. We've done A, B, and C. Somebody will check that off a list and say, all right.
So you're fortunate that everything works like you planned.
Correct.
Okay,
100%. But the game is so large, I can, we really can't imagine adding new content, new mechanics, new species, new planets, and so on for quite some time.
So aren't you afraid that it maybe gets some kind of never-ending story, more and more and more? Okay, the game gets bigger, gets more complicated, whatever, but
no, I don't. I think if you think of any existing game that's been out there for a while, where you add content that helps enhance and expand the player experience. So if we're creating this universe that people enjoy to be in, to provide some new material and new functionality in there, I think a majority of them will welcome that new material. Some will say, I don't care about that, I want to keep going.
Somewhere we have to put the line, or not? Or is it just, let's try this and add more content? So
no, it's we're not making a car, right? We're making an experience. And even after somebody finishes making a car, they go, oh, let's make a better car, or let's make a bigger car, right? So this is an experience. This is in a sense a lifestyle that people that enjoy this type of game, and they build community themselves, and they come into this space to enjoy and have a good time. So, at the end, it's going to be up to each individual if they continue to enjoy the experience, right? Okay. But we also listen to the players, right? We listen to the players on a daily basis. So we know what people are having fun with, what they're not having fun with. And we're fortunate enough with the makeup of how we exist as a company that we can gauge some of our work and what we're doing by the data that we get back from the existing player base.
Okay, then let's get a little bit more technical. I hope you can help us as well.
I will try. I've already said I'm not the deep technical guy, but
we know a lot about the technical basis of the game.
Yep.
But there is a topic at the graphics industry, rendering, that is ray tracing.
Yeah.
You have heard of that, I'm sure.
Of course, yes.
Have you thought about integrating that to the game, or is it a technique you say it's interesting, but it's just for a minority of the small minority of users, and the others still use the conventional rendering?
I think a little bit of both. First of all, we have multiple technical directors throughout the company, multiple rendering engineers that are incredibly smart. If we see new technology come online that we believe is going to benefit the game, benefit the visuals, benefit the end user experience, that's something that we would definitely look at and embrace. I don't know personally if ray tracing is there yet to go, okay, this is the impact that it's actually going to have, right? does the cost to do it equal the benefit received for the end user?
Of course.
How many people out there with their current PC setups will benefit if we were to do this?
Have the suitable card.
Is it a small percentage? Is it a large percentage? So you could argue that, yeah, I've seen some pretty stuff with the ray tracing. And you go, okay, well, again, we just have to then balance and say what makes sense for us to do.
And your opinion, is it a benefit, is it a visual benefit, or is it?
I have seen examples that I couldn't tell. I've seen some examples where I've seen a benefit, right? So to me, I think I'm still a bit neutral on it.
Neutral. So,
at least me personally, right? I know maybe some of our rendering engineers are probably swayed one way or another. But again, I need to look at, and we need to, just as any company would, if let's say 5% of your user base has the ability to do it, do you embrace it at that? Do you wait till it becomes more mainstream, so the hardware's more readily available, maybe it's lower cost, whatever, right? Because then there's more of an impact and more of a benefit from it.
Another question is AI, procedural AI.
Yeah.
This is a topic in your game. Can you explain why you picked that way, or why you have chosen that way, and not the conventional way? This procedural thing.
Well,
with the universe, with the AI.
We want to give the AI a true brain, right? And that's what it comes down to. There's the AI have a full 24-hour cycle. They're going to wake up, they're going to do their thing, they're going to go through their business and through their day, and they have a function. But the player can come in, or numerous players could come in any time, and they can disrupt that AI's normal life. So we want them to be able to function as intelligently as possible. So yeah, we've created a system that maybe is, it's not as straight out of the box and as conventional, but we believe once it gets to the point where it's fully mature, it's really going to benefit as far as the immersion that people feel. There's numerous ways to do it, and there's numerous ways you could say you could get there quicker, but you're cheating. Right? When you don't see the AI, where are they? What are they doing? We don't care. We care because we're building this giant universe, and people are going to be there at any point, right? At any point, at any time. So we want to have that full immersion. So for us, we said, yeah, let's really take this route that's going to give them as much of this true perceived intelligence as we can.
So then, last question. The hardware requirements at the moment for the game are really high. I think. So what are you working in to lower them? Because of course you want as many players as possible to play the game, but not everyone has such a high-end rig.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yes, we are a PC game.
And
yes, it is that high-end spec. I can't assume we will ever get really low on a spec. But what I can tell you is we do constantly look at it. I just had one of my engineers come to me the other day and asked me if he could buy a few old hard drives from eBay.
What for?
Exactly. And these were really, really, really old, slow hard drives.
But to test the transfer.
And that's what he wanted. So I just use that as one tiny example that we are constantly pushing ourselves to go, okay, how optimized can we make it? At some point, because we're pushing things so hard, and we're trying to do as many things that are cutting edge or bleeding edge as far as technology goes, there's going to be a limit, obviously, right? But we always try to take a really hard look at what that limit is and make sure that that limit is true. And if we can push it at all to pull it down, absolutely we will, because we know the benefit, right? Go circle back to the ray tracing. I know if we can optimize a bit more and lower the spec, we know that's going to benefit even more people potentially. Right? So that's something that's always on our radar to dig into and see if we can improve.
And then the other way around, you always profit from new developments.
Correct,
and stronger hardware. And
that's the other side of it, and that what kind of is the bit of a juggle is we always say we always try to future-proof our tech as well, right? Of course. We want to make sure everything's built in a way that the hooks are there and all that, to where once these new cards and things are faster and smoother and all that the code we've written can benefit from that, right? So it's a bit of a chore, like make it work at the lowest level, yet future-proof it so it can work on the most amazing gear that's out there.
All these new inventions and new techniques there.
Correct.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So we had at least a little bit tech talk. So everything's alright. Yeah.
100%.
Ja, liebe Leser, dann bis zum nächsten Mal und noch von den anderen Berichten, die wir hier so von der ROG haben. Tschö.
Ciao.